What if I told you my next guest had a way of dealing with anxiety that was so powerful and effective that 15 million people have already watched this video on YouTube? Do I have your attention yet? Well, odds are you may be experiencing anxiety right now. As the pandemic rolls on, there was a recent survey of over 115,000 people, so it's a big survey, right? Sharecare did it, and they found that a whopping 91% of us, more than 9 out of 10, are experiencing worry. Take a look at how our anxiety is contagious.
Enter anxiety. Anxiety is defined as a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. Anxiety comes up when our prefrontal cortices don't have enough information to accurately predict the future. We saw this with the novel coronavirus that was discovered in China at the end of 2019, COVID-19. Scientists raced to study the characteristics of any new virus so that we can know precisely how contagious and deadly it is, and act accordingly. Uncertainty abounds. Without accurate information, it is easy for our brains to spin stories of fear and dread. In addition to being fueled by uncertainty, anxiety is also contagious. In psychology, the spread of emotion from one person to another is termed social contagion. Our own anxiety can be cued or triggered simply by talking to someone else who is anxious. Their fearful words are like a sneeze landing directly on our brain, emotionally infecting our prefrontal cortex and sending it out of control as it worries about everything from whether our family members will get sick to how our jobs will be affected.
Joining me now is Dr. Justin Brewer, a psychiatrist and neuroscientist who has spent decades researching the brain and could help you break through this anxiety. He joins us now via Zoom. Dr. Brewer says anxiety is like COVID-19 itself. It's highly contagious. Could you explain that, sir?
Yeah, for some reason, toilet paper has become the meme for panic buying. This is where anxiety and social contagion come together. Logically, we all know that we don't need a 6-month supply of toilet paper, but when we go to the grocery store, we see someone else who's got their cart piled high. We start to get anxious. We worry there won't be enough for us, even though we don't need it right now. This can even happen on the phone. When we're on the phone with somebody who's anxious, they're worrying about their finances or whether they'll have a job in 6 months. We start to catch that social contagion instead. They sneeze on our brain, and we start to worry about whether we'll have a job or not, even if it's not necessary.
I've been reading a lot of your work, and you were talking about how an idea is contagious, and it's a shockingly powerful metaphor. So a lot of viewers right now are struggling with emotional eating, or they're smoking while in quarantine because they're dealing with that anxiety. So I got a message from a viewer, Sandra, in Paramus, New Jersey, not far from where I live. She says the longer she is home, the more she can stay out of the fridge. She's already up 15 pounds. The quarantine 15, it's called. No end in sight. So how does Sandra's anxiety play a tangible role in what's going on?
Yeah, she's really highlighting this quarantine 15 anxiety leading to weight gain. I see this a lot in my clinic. My patients eat when they're stressed or anxious, not when they're hungry. And this can actually get set up as a habit. In fact, to form a habit, you only need 3 elements: a trigger, a behavior, and a reward. Here you can see how anxiety triggers stress eating as that behavior. And the reward comes in the form of eating something sweet, or maybe the act of eating itself being a distraction from that unpleasantness of the anxiety. One of my patients actually described her eating as a way to numb out from her emotional pain. That's how she put it, numbing out. So that's how emotional eating gets set up as a habit. Anxiety can even become a habit without stress eating. Here, worrying is the mental behavior that gets reinforced. Anxiety can trigger worry as that mental behavior, which makes us feel like we're in control, or at least doing something because we're worrying. That feeling of doing something, even if worrying isn't helping us, makes us feel better that we're doing something rather than nothing.
Isn't that bizarre? Doing something that's not helpful gives you the belief you're doing something. So today, by the way, is all about solutions. So Dr. Brewer has joined forces with my partner at Sharecare to spread the word about your anxiety unwinding app. This is for anyone out there who is looking for a concrete tool to turn to. Dr. Brewer, you say this app can actually hack your brain to get anxiety relief. How does it work?
Yeah, the good news is if we can learn how our minds work, we can begin to work with our minds. So we can step out of these old habit loops like worrying by hacking this very habit loop itself. The app delivers short daily trainings that start with helping people map out their anxiety habit loops. Then it brings in mindfulness practices to help them step out of those loops. It also gives people on-demand practices to help them calm down when they're anxious. and even short practices they can do throughout the day to set mindfulness as their new habit loop.
So check this out. Dr. Brewer tested the Unwinding Anxiety app. He tested it on physicians, right? Because we're stressed out too. 57% showed a reduction on the anxiety scale after using the app. In fact, this app has about the most clinical data supporting validity that I've ever seen. So Dr. Brewer, for someone watching right now that's drowning in anxiety, what is something they can do today to start rewiring their brain to cope better?
Yeah. My favorite practice right now is what's called 5-finger breathing, where you can simply place your index finger at the base of your pinky. And as you breathe in, trace up the outside of your finger. As you breathe out, you can trace down the inside of your finger. As you breathe in, you can trace up the outside of your ring finger. As you breathe out, you can trace down the inside. And you can continue this back and forth, 5 breaths, 10 breaths. And even 5 breaths can help people calm down. Families can do this together before the start of each meal. Parents can teach this to their kids. They can ask their kids to lead them through it when they notice when they, as a parent, are feeling stressed. It's a great way to help kids feel like they're in control. They're helping their parents, and they are.
It's like rosary beads, but with your fingers.
Yes.
All right, everyone, you can download Sharecare's Unwinding Anxiety app in your phone app store right now. And because we know how much stress everyone is experiencing, suffering through, until the end of May, Sharecare, God bless them, is offering 1 month of free access to the Unwinding Anxiety app. Just enter the license code Sharecare when you sign up, and it's yours. Please share it with your friends as well. We'll be right back. Judd, nice job.